ask questions of our guests, all that good stuff. So, Living Life in Joy is another vehicle where I get the opportunity to express joy in the world by sharing this platform with people who are connected to their yes. Connected to their yes. So, we're in October. I started the month off yesterday, y'all, with my birthday. And so I decided that the theme for October is unity. And we kind of started this process last week with Morning Sip because the theme was integral. And so integration is really up for me. And integration is an expression of unity, right? And one of the things that I shared is that we are living in the wholeness. We're living in the wholeness, not in the pieces. Not in the pieces. So my guest today is a demonstration of someone who is living life from a place of wholeness, connected to her yes. And I'm just really excited to introduce you all to her. So we're going to get ready, y'all. We are in the go, set, ready. You know, I love that, right? I love that. I love that. My producer, Sekou Wrights, produced that beat, and it is awesome. It is awesome. So today's guest, y'all, is an amazing woman. I just met her through someone from the Congregation of Joy. Shout out to Lindsay for introducing us and making this connection. Her name is Lissa Coffey. And she is an incredible, incredible human being. So I want to share her bio with you all. Lissa is a best-selling author. She has written 15 books, including Song Divine, a new lyrical rendition of the Bhagavad Gita. She's been on Good Morning America, The Today Show, and many other national and local television shows with her ancient wisdom, modern style philosophy. Deepak Chopra says, your heart will thank you for Lissa's helpful and heartfelt vision. All right. How many of us got a quote from Deepak? I want to know. Show of hands. All right. Well, Lissa does. So please, let's welcome to Living Life in Joy, Lissa Coffey.
Yay!
Yay! Hey, Lissa.
Hey, Melissa. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome.
I love your energy. I was like rocking out to your theme song there. It's like,
yes.
Nice way to start the morning.
It is. So, Lissa, you have a lot going on, and I'm loving everything that I'm discovering about you.
Oh.
And so when I'm introduced to somebody new, I'm always curious about what got them to this path, you know, what led them on this journey. And so I have that in the context of what I call, won't he do it? Won't he do it? So what is your won't he do it testimony?
You know, I've always, even when I grew up, I was kind of a weird little kid, very spiritual, and I don't know why. I didn't grow up in a religious or spiritual family or anything, but I was always a seeker. You know, I always knew there was something more. And I followed my intuition, and I always thought, why not? You know, I didn't even question if I could do something or I should do something. If I had the idea, I just did it. And I didn't let anything stop me. And I really feel that when you have an inspiration like that, it's for a reason. It's meant to be. And we are very creative beings, and we need to express that in some way, shape, or form. Everybody has their, different methods of expressing it, but I tend to do it through writing, whether it's songwriting, lyrics, poetry, books, whatever it is, it tends to be more of the verbal through words.
Mm.
And that's how I express myself. And, when I always kind of was looking for my people, And in college at UCLA, I discovered meditation. I found this group of people that were like meditators. And I'm like, this is so cool. This is like so cool. And then after I got married and had kids and couldn't work, I found another kind of tribe of people. And I was a very young mom. But I couldn't work because I was having morning sickness like all the time. So I would go to these classes at the Healing Arts Center, and there were mostly like middle-aged women and then me, but they were my tribe, and they were all like on the path, and we got each other, and we explored all of the healing arts, everything from, tarot cards to Reiki. I mean, it wasn't even called Reiki back in the day. Feng Shui before it even was a thing. I mean, we were like cutting edge in this moment. But that was my tribe,
Yeah.
And then I discovered Centers for Spiritual Living when my kids were born and they started to grow up, and that was my tribe for a long time. And that's where I met Lindsay, and it's interesting because I think there's certain people you meet that you just know each other, even though you've never met. You know what I mean? Like there's that instant recognition, like, oh, there she is.
Yes.
And that's how I felt with Lindsay. It was like love at first sight. It's like, oh, there she is. I just knew she was my friend. And we've been friends now for 20 some years. I mean, more than 20 years. It's crazy. And then now my tribe is the Vedanta Society. And I learned all about Vedanta and Hinduism and Krishna and all that. And I'm just like, these people get me, I get them. This is amazing. And I just feel like through each step, I've kind of taken my practice deeper and learned more from not only the books, but from the community. Like we learn from each other.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And it's interesting. Oh, I hear an echo. Do you still hear it?
I don't hear echo.
Okay. I think it stopped. Okay.
Okay.
It was the universe giving me a shout out. I got you, universe. All right. All right. All right.
I'm your other guest today.
Yes, it's all good. It's all, you go sit right there. I'll get to you in a minute.
Yeah.
We with Lissa right now. We with Lissa right now. So Lissa, something you said really struck a chord with me, because you said when you were always a weird child. Right. And you mentioned, the age of 2 years old, and the fact that you trust that at such a young age, because a lot of times as children, we turn that off. We become afraid of it. We don't know what to do. And so we repress it. But it sounds like you leaned into the spirituality that was so expressing through you.
Yeah, for some reason it was like so familiar to me. It wasn't scary to me at all. I had these imaginary friends, and to me they were just very real. And I don't know why anybody else can't see them or interact with them, because they're there, and I just didn't question it. And I didn't feel bad when anybody tried to dismiss it or whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever, they don't get it. So
yeah. And that's so important for children. You say you have children. I have twin girls, and to encourage that, to encourage it. That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, my boys are adults now. They're 32 and almost 35. So yeah, they're big guys.
They're doing their own thing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes. So in looking and checking you out, I noticed a couple of things. So I got attracted to the word, the song divine. Tell me, how did that come into being for you?
The Bhagavad Gita means the divine song. Bhagavad is the divine and Gita is song. So this book has been like following me almost. Okay. Like I would see it everywhere and I'd pick it up and try to read it and put it down. I couldn't do it, but I was like, there was some attraction, but it was just never the right time or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I found the Vedanta Society and I met my Swami, who's Swami Sarvadevananda, the Vedanta Society Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first things he said to me is, I teach a class on the Bhagavad Gita on Tuesdays. And I'm like, sign me up, because I know what it is, but I haven't read it. I don't understand it. I really want to take this class. This is what I need.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go every Tuesday, and we didn't get very far, because I'll show you this book. Okay. This is the text we were using. Look at how big this book is. Okay. This is like big. And he would read maybe a verse or two, and we'd have such a discussion about it that, it took us years to get through this book. Years. Because we're going once a week, we're not reading the book in one sitting. But I learned so much from it. And then he kept telling us, you should memorize these verses, because this is really important. And then this is like an affirmation for you. This is like a mantra that'll stay in your mind, and you'll remember these really good spiritual lessons. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't memorize them. I'm like, okay, well, in Sanskrit, it's like gobbledygook. I don't speak Sanskrit. It's another language. And I'm just saying syllables, doesn't make sense to me. And when it's translated into English, it's very dense, and I thought, how am I going to memorize these things? And then I remembered, okay, when my kids were little, I used to write songs. I had my own record label, Bright Ideas Productions, and we put out positive music for today's kids. And I used to listen to this children's music for my kids and say, E-I-E-I-O, what is this affirmation? I'm raising them with the Center for Spiritual Living. I want them to have positive messages. So I wrote songs around these positive messages. I can do it, and all kinds of stuff. So I thought, I'm going to rewrite these verses in the Gita to rhyme and have rhythm as if it's a song, because it was written originally as a song. And when you read it in Sanskrit, you can actually sing it as a song, and that helps you remember it. And it helped it be passed down from generation to generation throughout the years. Yeah. So I started doing this, and I'm like, I like this, and it was easier for me to memorize. But then I thought, well, who am I to rewrite the Bhagavad Gita? I'm this old white chick. I don't know what I'm doing, So I took it to my Swami, and I said, look, this is what I've done. Forgive me if I've blown it, whatever. Is it okay? And he said he loved it. He said, this is fabulous. This is what the Western world needs right now. This makes it so accessible to so many people. Keep going, keep going. So he encouraged me. So I decided I'm going to rewrite the Bhagavad Gita, start to finish. I called it Song Divine. And as I was writing it, I would literally hear tunes in my head, like, okay, this needs to be a song. This needs to be a song. So I kind of wrote it with that in mind, that this is going to be recorded at some point. So when the book was finally done, I went to my friend Vito, who I also met through the Center for Spiritual Living, by the way. And he's a musician and producer. And when I married my husband, Greg, he played at our wedding. So I've known him for many, many years. And I approached him and said, look, this is what I want to do. Here's my book, Song Divine. I want to turn each chapter into a song. And, he's looking at it and he's like, okay, Lissa, you know that this chapter has 48 verses. This chapter has 60 verses. How are we going to do this? I said, I don't know, but I want to do it. Let's figure it out. He's like, okay. So he said, yes, like you say, just say, yes, let's go for it. Thank God he did, because, at first he said, okay, let's just do one song. I said, no, let's do 3 songs. We did all 18 songs. It took us 3 years, but we did one at a time. We got great singers. We got great musicians. I actually got Sonu Nigam, who is the most famous singer in all of India. I mean, he's huge. He's like in America, if you said Elvis Presley, everybody knows who Elvis Presley is, right? Everybody knows who Sonu Nigam is. So I got him to sing a song, and I flew to India, recorded it with him, with these musicians. And he's the one who sings Know Who You Are. And then the pandemic hit. So it's no more going to India. So we got these other singers in the US, Deepak Ramapriyan, who is amazing. And he's been singing forever. And I don't know why he hasn't been a huge star, because his voice is amazing. And then Alexander Perez sings the Arjuna part. And it's just, I mean, I'm so happy with how the whole thing came out. It just feels like we were all divinely brought together. We were all divinely led. Yeah. And it came out to be this beautiful thing now that the whole world can enjoy. And it's actually coming out October 13th. So one song we released already, and there's a music video on YouTube. And then the whole thing is coming out October 13th.
All right. So we have, I hear the echo again. So we have the single. So we're going to play that. And then I want to talk a little bit more about just how all this came together. So the single is Know Who You Are. And who's singing on this one?
This is Sonu Nigam from India.
Okay, this is the superstar.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know who you are? Do you know from where you came? When you understand, will not be the same.
I think it froze.
Oh, okay. It got a little frozen, but that was a little teaser, everybody. Yeah. So Lissa just shared that the whole, it's a double album, right?
It's a double album. Look at this.
It's awesome.
And I know most people don't even have CDs anymore, but we made it into a CD anyway, so you can have the whole CD experience with little.
But look how beautiful that is.
Oh yeah, I'll show you. This is Sonu Nigam right here. That's Sonu, and that's me, and that's Manu, who's my godson in India. He's a music producer, and he helped put everything together. Wow. And this is Rajesh, who did all the artwork. I mean, the artwork is just stunning, you know?
It's beautiful. And you know, this is a demonstration, Lissa, of wholeness, right? Because like you said, you didn't know that it was going to come into this form, right?
Yeah.
But you kept going. You went from, you know, taking this class, right?
Yeah.
To saying, I need to really integrate this work, you know, the sacred text. Yes. And you did it the way that you did it, teaching your children. Like, who knew when you was rhyming for your children to remember things that you would use that same technique to create a whole book and a double album based on the Gita.
I mean, that's how God works, you know?
Yes.
I literally think everything I've done in my life has led me to this. And this is my dharma. Dharma is the Sanskrit word that means purpose. Yes. And the whole Bhagavad Gita is about this man, Arjuna, who represents the everyman like you and me, finding his purpose in life. Yes. And how does he find it? Because he asks God, right? And everything he goes through, I mean, it's set, you know, more than 5,000 years ago on a battlefield in India. It's not set in a beautiful garden where they're having this lovely conversation. There's conflict. And this just represents our entire lives, right? Yes. We're not in some beautiful garden of heaven. We are on earth, which is kind of like a battlefield. We have to deal with traffic and in-laws and landlords and bosses. And I mean, it's always something, right? These physical bodies that we age and we're breaking down. I woke up with an eye infection this morning. I'm like, what is this all about? But this is life. This is life. So I felt like the lessons that Arjuna learned way back when, these are the same lessons we need to learn today.
Yeah.
We need this so much more than any time.
More than ever. Yes, I agree 100%. Well, Lissa, I could keep talking about this forever, but I want to get into some joy questions with you. Joy questions. All right. So what does joy look or feel like for you?
For me, it's that inner peace. It's like the music of the universe. Like when you can hear that music of the universe, you're in the flow. And that to me is just joy. Whatever it is you're doing, you're in the flow. You're letting the universe work through you rather than having to labor. You don't have to labor. Let the universe work and flow through you.
Yes, I love that. So I say I'm living life in joy. What are you living life in?
I think I'm living life in balance. I think that, I learned Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the science of life from India, and I studied that for a long time. My license plate even says Ayurveda on it. I was so into it. But it's all about being in balance, and when you can be in balance, then you're your best self. So you don't have to be too much, not too much activity, not too much laziness, just right. Just, keeping that nice, centered balance.
Yes. I liked in your couple of minutes of inspiration in the song Divine, you said, and I wrote this down because I love this. You said abstaining from useless activity.
Yes.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah. And actually, it's like, I can't even take credit for that because I didn't say that. Krishna said it. I just put it in the book so that you could learn it. But Krishna is the one who said it. And when I say Krishna, you could say Jesus Christ or Allah, Muhammad, Jehovah, whatever, that it's the divine that told us that. The divine is telling us abstain from useless activity.
Yes. I love that. When you said it, I was like, oh, I got to write that down. That's beautiful. All right. Let me get back to the last joy question. What is your joy song?
Okay. One of the songs I wrote for my kids is called The Miracle Is You. And when I get down on myself or I feel like, things aren't going my way or the way I want them to go, I just remember that song and I think the miracle is you. And the point of it is that so many events have to come together to make this moment in time. And we always have to see the miracle in that. Always. The miracle is in every moment. It's in every person. And we can do anything, we put our heart and soul into it. The universe is our oyster. It really is. And it's miraculous.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lissa. It was wonderful having you on the show today. So just share with everyone how we can be in touch with you, how we can buy the double CD, and what you have coming up next.
Yeah, so the website, it's not The Song Divine, it's just songdivine.com. And you can go there and you'll see the links to everywhere that the music is streaming. Go to my new YouTube channel, which there's a link to the YouTube channel there, and you'll see there's one music video posted already, Know Who You Are. But there's going to be a music video posted like every week or so for each song. And then at the end, I'm going to put all the songs together, and it's 1 hour and 40 minutes. It's going to be like watching a movie.
That's great. Great. All right. So Lissa, please keep in touch with me. Let me know what you have coming up. I would love to have you back on the show. It was a pleasure to make this connection with you.
Thank you. You are a goddess. I appreciate you so much.
Oh, thank you. All right, everybody. There we have Lissa Coffey. please check out her on YouTube. Go to her website, songdivine.com. All right, so we're going to wrap up the show with this joy quote. So the joy quote is, and this is, I don't know who said this, but it is, unity is strength, division is weakness. And what that means for me is I feel at my strongest. I feel at my most dynamic when I know that I am whole. When I feel weak and battered and worn out, it's because I start to divide against myself, right? I start to pick myself apart. So if you're doing that, I just invite you to just take a breath, go within, and know that you are whole. Know that you are complete, and know that you are doing the very best that you can, and know that the universe has you as your whole self. All right? All right. So I'm thinking that unity might be the theme for next week for Morning Sip. So Monday, join me for Morning Sip. Sip with Rev Melissa, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, right where you're watching me now. Right after today's Living Life in Joy show at 11:30, we have some Sunday in Praise. We have some Sunday in Praise at Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living, where I am the spiritual director and senior minister. And our topic for service is the divine community. So you can come in person. We're doing in-person service. You have to wear a mask. We are also streaming on Facebook Live at our Facebook page. And if you want to participate via Zoom, you could do that too. Just go to our website, rocklandcsl.org, and just click on the Sunday service celebration link, and you'll be in the Zoom room. All right? All right. One other notice I want to give is to save the date for our next meditation with the moon. We're meditating with the moon. It's a new moon, October 6th, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, right where you're watching me now. And after that, we do like the meditation with the moon is a full-blown spiritual practice. Only thing you need to bring is yourself, your consciousness, something to write with and on. That's it. And right after, we have an after party on Zoom where we get to share and see each other if we want to be on camera and just, hang out for a little bit. Okay. So I hope to see you at all of those things or some of those things. It's all available to you. Thank you for joining me today for Living Life in Joy. Thank you, Lissa Coffey, for being a wonderful gift in the world. Thank you, Lindsay, for the introduction. And what do I always say we are doing? We are living life in joy, connected to our yes.